Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So, I've noticed something very odd that's been taking place lately. It seems like it doesn't matter where I'm at, even in Hollywood, I'm running into a lot of hostile looks, it's all from men mostly white men, but there's been a alarming number of black men that just look at me with intense hatred. I mean, I could expect that in Burbank. I could expect that in the Valley. But Hollywood? And these aren't tourists. That's what's disturbing. So I don't know, maybe I've missed something. Maybe there's been an escalation in rhetoric. I'm not sure. Whatever the case is, I'm starting to not feel very safe. And I mean, I don't want to sound paranoid, but I mean, granted, I have a lot on my plate. My mother just passed away this week, and there's some internal dynamics taking place within my mother's side of the family, and I don't know where I stand. It doesn't matter that I was my mother's only child. The fact of the matter is, I'm being excluded or pushed aside. This happened before, and for all the same stupid reasons. Probably the same reasons why these fucking men, I don't know what their deal is. I don't understand what the problem is, because, you know, you come to Hollywood, you come to expect to find nonconformists, people with pink hair, you know, god people, punk rockers. You run into, there's always been transgender people out here. I mean, either sex workers or just people who just happen to choose to live here, you know? It's always been some, you know, crazy nonconformity here. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I mean, I haven't worried about this or really had many incidents like this in, I want to say, at least a couple of years. I mean, it's the last time anyone kind of was deliberately rude to me outside of that Motel 6 incident. I mean, usually in the Valley, usually involving, you know, like white people, you know, Trump supporters, you know, so to speak. But you know, encountering that here in Hollywood is like, it's not something you would expect, and to me it's disturbing, because my reasons for not wanting to leave Hollywood is because, for the most part, I felt safe here. You know, I've lived here for 40 years, and I've never not felt safe here, regardless of whatever beef may be taking place. But as it stands right now, we're living in a very hostile political climate, and the vibe of this country is going from bad to worse. But, you know, religious extremists, so-called Christians, God, I can't fucking stand them. You know, these so-called conservative people. Yeah, right. They're not conservative. They're not conserving anything. They're also full of shit. For some reason, they've chosen to do what the Nazis did. Before they went after trade unionists and communists and Jewish people, they went after trans people. And they may have wiped out the community in Berlin. Nothing they could do would prevent the birth of new trans people, because nobody can predict it. You know, I mean, this is a natural occurrence, whether these people choose to accept that or not. And I just wish they'd understand that and leave us the fuck alone, because this crazy idea that we choose to be who we are, that we choose to behave in a manner that they don't agree with, that we choose to identify as people that they cannot even conceive of, particularly among men who believe in patriarchy. You know, they can't fathom the idea that one of their own would betray, you know, the brotherhood or manhood or whatever. Fact of the matter is, if you're transgender, chances are you were never one of them. I know for a fact I was never accepted among men, no matter what I tried. And I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've met people who joined the Marines or became Army Rangers or, you know, volunteered for every crazy military mission thinking this was going to kill the girl in them. It didn't work. You are who you are. You know, you shouldn't have to be hated for it. It's ridiculous. You know, you figure in this day and age, you know, we should be moving forward, not backward. But remember, this is the same asshole who thinks Donna Reed was a real person. You know, that make-believe reality that existed on 1950s television was how America ruled. It didn't. That was an illusion. Illusion created for white people. Everybody else, there was no period where America was great. Sorry. I mean, might have felt great at the end of World War II, but then we quickly went right back to the same old shit. All our black soldiers who fought valiantly in Europe returned home only to be lynched or attacked for simply wearing the uniform. You know, to go to, I mean, what are the clothes these men have? They just got back from the war. They just took on the Third Reich and defeated them, only to be nearly beaten to death or killed or lynched by some guy named Cletus with 2 teeth and another guy named Bubba and the deacon who was also the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. I mean, it's disgusting. But here we are again. You know, Donald Trump's grandfather was a Klan member. So was his father. So it's no surprise. You know, their German descent shouldn't have any association with Nazism or any admiration for them at any level. I mean, okay, granted, they had cool machines and probably the best uniforms of World War II, but that's it. Beyond that, these guys were monsters. They committed the greatest mass murder of the 20th century, and you know, this is not to be admired, not at all on any occasion. But that's how fucked up these people are. See? As I was speaking, I just got a ugly stare down from, you know, a person walking the street. You know? Again, another black man. I don't know what's going on. But whatever it is, it's making me, I don't know, long for better times, I suppose. You know, it's like I tell my wife, you know, exactly 1 year ago, I was the happiest I ever had been in my entire life, despite the idiots in Washington. 1 year later, my life is in shambles, and I'm just fighting for survival. Almost 11 months of homelessness and constant, just, you know, struggle. I wanted to talk about this for a while, but I just didn't have it in me, because, I mean, my mother's death, and right now with my wife out with bronchitis, you know, and the kids being so fucking needy all the time. It just makes it hard. And I've been trying to process everything, and it's not been easy. Not been easy at all. I want to take a clue, but fact of the matter is, it's getting a little sketchy, you know. And I gotta prioritize my safety over my desire to have a smoke. And already, look at this. Well, I've already got 3 ugly motherfuckers. All fucking men. You know, women, for the most part, women will just, they'll smile, they might say something nice, they might wink at you, or they might ignore you, or they might give you an eye roll if they disapprove of you, or blow a little attitude, but that's it. Men, they imbibe hostility, they imbibe murderous intent, they imbibe hatred, and well, you know, as a practicing witch, you know, I have to manage energies, and sometimes it can be a lot, particularly if you're involved in witch wars, and I was involved in quite a few in the 1990s. And for the first time in 35 years, today felt like I was fending off an entire coven, and I'm exhausted. Mind you, I was not fending off a coven. It was just the energies of these dark, ugly, vile energies that came with these stare downs and this hatred. And if that wasn't enough, I'm still tripping out because yesterday we went and got my plates for my car finally. Don't ask me how we raised the money. I'm not happy about it at all. But I'm at AAA in Burbank. I always knew you don't run into MAGA people there. And for the most part, they've ignored me, you know, but I noticed all the boomers, all of them, the men, well, again, mostly white, tell they're all for Trump, you know, all giving me this stop and stare. And I used to call that, you know, the first 6 months of your transition is the most awkward because you may not be on hormones yet. And you're socially transitioning and you lack the features that, you know, show that you are becoming who you're becoming. You just don't have them yet. It takes time to develop. And during that period, it can be very awkward or very frightening at times because, you know, it's like you're taking that step that most cross-dressers are terrified of doing. You know, you are going out and you are now committing to a life. And you are doing it. You know, and during that period, people who maybe knew you as male or what have you, they'll stop and they stare. They won't move. They'll just stare at you. And no matter where you go, their eyes are trained solely on you. I haven't had that in 3.5 years. I mean, it ended after 6 months. And once I started becoming very passable, didn't have that anymore. And I've learned to largely ignore it. And when I'm in my element, I don't notice these things because I'm too into my own shit and ignore it because I have my power. I'm in my element. But because of my mother's death and my wife being down and everything that I've been going through, I just haven't had the energy to put up a defense. I haven't had the energy to really say I'm in my element right now. I feel like I'm just exhausted. And the cracks in the armor are visible, and you know, because of that, you know, the enemy sees you, they see your vulnerabilities, and they're ready to pounce. And this is why, you know, when people ask me, well, why you always gotta make sure your makeup's so nice, well, your clothing's so nice, everything, because if you present one flaw at all, that's what they'll focus on instead of the better parts of me. And I can't have that. Yeah, I'm not going to put up with that bullshit. So, it's just been weird, awkward. But there was a AAA. And all these old fucking men, they're all fucking glaring at me. Women are smiling, nice, you know, polite, you know, but these men are all like making their ugly faces and shit. And I'm with my daughter, mind you. You know, we got her tags. Okay, now I got them. I'm putting them on my plates. And I notice I'm hearing somebody yelling something, but I can't make out what he's saying. It was kind of, it's almost like I couldn't make out a word he's saying. It's like somebody trying to yell at you with a cock in their mouth or something. And it's this big guy, old boomer guy, okay? He's probably about 6'3", 6'4". I mean, he's a big man. You know, he still had a lot of muscles. And maybe when he was in his 20s or 30s, maybe all the way up into his 50s, he could probably fuck some people up. Who knows? He could probably fuck me up right now, you know, but that man's probably in his 80s now, and so his ability to fuck people up is diminishing. But his hatred and his desire to act like a schoolyard bully was like, what the hell is wrong with you? He's 50 feet away, he's yelling at me. I can't make out what he's saying because I'm too busy buckling my child into her seat because she's autistic. She can't put in her seatbelt. And this man is making just like, come here, like, excuse me? I'm Generation X. I ain't gonna take no shit, and I don't take orders from fucking boomers anymore. Those days are gone, all right? And I have no idea what this man wanted, but I can tell you, he didn't have any good intentions. And why would I fall for that? I mean, that's something that, you know, a guy would fall for. You know, they take the bait, and they're easily baited, and they'll go out there and they'll want to know what the fuck you want, you know? But the thing is, see, I'm not part of that team anymore. So for me, I'm just like, whatever, you know, I don't know what your issue is, but I got places to be, people to see. And I'm driving away, and this motherfucker pulls up alongside me, and I still can't make out what he's saying. He's screaming and yelling. He's all angry. And I'm like, what is this fucking man's problem? You know, you're 80 years old, and you're still want to harass people you see on the street that maybe you don't understand, or maybe you feel is different from you, whatever. That's no reason to start yelling and screaming and act like a jackass. It isn't. But that's what this man did. And, well, before I close, it reminded me of, at the very start of the transition, I still wasn't socially transitioned. I was just about to. I was about a week away from doing so. It was my son's birthday. I want to say he was turned 5. At the recommendation of a fellow fam who lived in San Diego, you know, we thought we could try Legoland. My son really wanted to go, and we went there. And didn't matter what ride we went on. You know, I was still dressed how I used to be. You know, in shorts and t-shirt, you know, and boots, and you know, nothing significant about that. You know, but I noticed there's some guy, he's huffing and puffing and making a big fucking stinking grumbling and talking shit, but I can't make out really who he's talking about. But he's angry about somebody. And I noticed this guy, he's probably 2 years younger than me, actually. I would say he was probably mid-30s, maybe just hit his 40s. He's with his wife and daughter. His daughter, evidently, same age as my son. Okay, it's about 5 years old at the time. We're there for my son's birthday. They're there for their daughter's birthday. She clearly don't have any brothers or sisters. You know, same situation as us, all right? Okay, well, we do have, my son has his sister. And this man is making a stink because I'm in the line. No other reason. He is son of laser focused on me, and he is fucking mad. He's ruining his whole fucking day. And then, to make matters worse, you know, they let some people come up forward, and they advanced his daughter and his wife, and they're put in the same car with me and my son. And I'm thinking, and this guy's about to fucking explode, and he's screaming and yelling and making a total ass of himself. And his daughter would start to cry, and the wife started to feel like, you know, very embarrassed. And this man just would not stop, and he's pointing at me, and he's glaring at me, and everybody is starting to notice now that this man is trying to draw attention to me. I've done nothing. I'm there for my son's birthday. He wanted to go to Legoland. He just wanted to ride a ride. You know, that man brought his daughter there with his wife. His child. It's her birthday. All she wanted to do was ride a ride. But instead of riding a ride, her father ruined her birthday because some other white asshole man put in this man's head that he has to fight people like me. Because we are a threat to them in some way. Threat how? I don't know. I mean, we're barely 1% of the population. We're about less than 3.9 million Americans. I mean, we're found everywhere on the globe. I mean, this is not a trend. We're not a fetish. We're not a lifestyle. So we are. I mean, it's unfortunate that so much negative attention's been brought our way, because when I did this the first time around, we didn't have the attention, and nobody seemed to care. In fact, some of these same people that try to accost us and yell and make scenes or try to threaten, or actually do attack some people, these very same people 5 years ago didn't give a rat's ass if we existed or not. But now, the very mention of us, the very sight of one of us, these men go into kill mode. They don't give a damn what is going on in their lives. It's all 100% laser focus on the hate that someone idiot put in their heads, because we've given them no cause, but yet there they go. And it saddens me to see that this is starting to get worse. Well, that's the life of a trans person here in the United States during the second Donald Trump regime. Let's hope we all survive this. Be good to each other, everyone. Love you all.